Appendix 1. Paired sets of happiness. These paired sets of happiness are present in the Anguttara Nikaya. 1. Happiness of householders, Gihi Sukha, happiness of lay people, and happiness of renunciants, Pabajita Sukha, equals Pabajita Sukha, happiness of the renunciant life. 2. Sense pleasure, Kama Sukha, and happiness of renunciation, Ne Kama Sukha, happiness resulting from a freedom from sensuality and an absence of greed. 3. Happiness adulterated by suffering, Upadi Sukha, happiness in the three planes of existence, Tebu Maka equals mundane happiness, Lokiya Sukha, and happiness unadulterated by suffering, Nirupadi Sukha equals transcendent happiness, Lokuttara Sukha. 4. Happiness leading to mental taints, Sawa Sukha, and happiness not leading to mental taints, Atna Sawa Sukha, happiness free from mental taints. 5. Material happiness, Samisa Sukha, happiness dependent on enticements and on consumable objects, carnal pleasure, and non-material happiness, Nikra Misa Sukha, happiness independent of things to consume. 6. Happiness of the noble ones, Ariya Sukha, and happiness of ordinary unawakened people, Nariya Sukha. 7. Happiness, physical happiness, Kayika Sukha, and mental happiness, Chetasika Sukha. 8. Happiness combined with bliss, Sabitika Sukha, happiness in the first and second jhana, and happiness not combined with bliss, Nipitika Sukha, happiness in the third and fourth jhana. 9. Delightful happiness, Sata Sukha. The commentaries state that this refers to the happiness in the first three jhanas, and happiness resulting from equanimity, Beka Sukha. Happiness when the mind is in a complete state of balance, is neutral and objective, ready to discern the truth and discriminates correctly, just as a wise person would observe events from a distance. The commentaries state that this refers to the happiness in the fourth jhana. 10. Happiness resulting from concentration, Samadhi Sukha, either access or attainment concentration, and happiness without concentration, Sama Samadhi Sukha. 11. Happiness arising for one who contemplates the first two jhanas comprised of bliss, Sapitika Kara Mana Sukha, and happiness arising for one who contemplates the third and fourth jhanas, divested of bliss, Nipitika Kara Mana Sukha. 12. Happiness arising for one who contemplates the first three jhanas comprised of pleasure, Satta Ramana Sukha, and happiness arising for one who contemplates the fourth jhana comprised of equanimity, Upeka Ramana Sukha. 13. Happiness with materiality as its foundation, Rupa Ramana Sukha, happiness with the fine material jhanas as its foundation, and happiness with immateriality as its foundation, Arupa Ramana Sukha, happiness with the formless jhanas as its foundation. After each of these pairs, there is the statement that the latter kind of happiness is superior or more excellent than the former. Appendix 2. Threefold happiness, alternative model. The Samyutta Nikaya contains another classification of happiness that is very similar to the one discussed at the beginning of this chapter, Kama Sukha, Jhana Sukha, and Nirodha Samapatti Sukha. This is likewise a threefold division. 1. Happiness dependent on material things, samisa sukha. This is equivalent to sense pleasure, kama sukha. 2. Non-material happiness, nira misa sukha. This refers to the happiness of the first three jhanas. 3. Happiness exceeding and transcending non-material happiness, nira mi sattara sukha. This refers to the happiness and joy experienced by one whose mind is free from mental taints, ki na sava, who reflects on the mind liberated from greed, hatred, and delusion. The commentaries claim that, although the third kind of happiness is technically mundane lokiya, it can be described as the happiness resulting from an arahant's knowledge of reviewing paccavekkhana. It is superior to the second kind of happiness, which may be either mundane or transcendent. Lokuttara. It is transcendent when it refers to the jhana of an awakened person. I say these two classifications are almost the same because they have a similarity in scope. Samisa sukha is equivalent to kama sukha. Niramisa sukha is part of the domain of jhana sukha. Niramisa Tara Sukha goes beyond or transcends Jhana Sukha. The important difference between these two classifications is that the first group, Kama Sukha, Jhana Sukha, and Nirodha Samapatti Sukha, encompasses all forms of happiness, both that which is a sensation, Vedana, and that which is not. The factors of the second group, Samisa Sukha, Niramisa Sukha, and Niramisatara Sukha, however, are all included in happiness, that is a sensation. Therefore, the highest form of non-material happiness, Niramisa Sukha, which is part of the third jhana, does not cover all forms of jhana sukha. In reference to the fourth jhana, the distinctive term Niramisa Upeka is used. At SIV 237, this term is also used in reference to the formless jhanas, Arupa jhana, because technically they are part of the fourth jhana. A clear distinction can be made between Nirodha Samapatti Sukha and Niramisatara Sukha. Although Nirodha Samapatti Sukha goes beyond jhana, it still pertains to a meditative attainment, Samapatti, and it is only accessible by those arahants and non-returners proficient in the 8 jhanas. Niramisatara Sukha here refers to the happiness resulting from the knowledge of reviewing. It refers only to arahants, who can either be those liberated both ways, ubato bhaga vimuta, or those liberated by wisdom, panya vimuta, i.e., they have not reached the 8 concentrative attainments. In any case, by focusing on the literal meaning of the term, Nirodha Samapatti Sukha should in some respects also be classified as a happiness exceeding non-material happiness. Appendix 3. Threefold happiness, sense pleasure, divine happiness, and the happiness of the destruction of craving. Sense pleasure has already been described at length. Divine happiness is defined in the commentaries as the happiness of jhana, specifically the happiness of mundane concentrative absorption, lokiya jhana sukha. The commentaries equate divine happiness with jhanic happiness, because they determine jhana to be a divine abiding, dipa vihara, in accord with a teaching in the Digha Nikaya. The commentary to the Digha Nikaya states that divine happiness refers to the 8 concentrative attainments. The ordinary celestial pleasures of divine beings is already included in the factor of sense pleasure. Happiness of the destruction of craving, tanha kaya sukha, refers to the happiness of nibbana, nibbana sukha, as the term tanha kaya is a synonym for nibbana. The commentary of the Udana, however, interprets Tanakaya Sukha to be the happiness of fruition attainment, Palasamapati Sukha, which is accessible to all awakened beings from stream enterers upwards, through establishing Nibbana as one's object of attention. Here I use the term Tanhakaya Sukha in a broad sense, encompassing the happiness of fruition attainment, the happiness of attainment of cessation, Nirodha Samapati, a state resembling Nibbana, and the happiness of liberation, Vimutti Sukha, which is frequently referred to in the scriptures. Vimutti Sukha refers to the highest fruition attainment, Pala Samapati, which is the domain of arahants. This classification is similar to the tenfold classification of happiness above. The most detailed classification of happiness in the commentaries is found in the commentary to the Anguttara Nikaya, which divides happiness into 7 levels: human happiness, Manusa Sukha; divine happiness, Divya Sukha; jhanic happiness, the happiness of insight, Vipassana Sukha; and the happiness of the path, Magga Sukha; fruition happiness, Pala Sukha; and the happiness of Nibbana. These 7 kinds of happiness can be condensed into 4. Sense pleasure, Kama Sukha, including human happiness and divine happiness, the latter referring specifically to the pleasure experienced by celestial beings or the happiness of heaven. Happiness of jhana, Jhana Sukha; the happiness of mundane concentrative attainments, Lokiya Jhana Sukha, Lokiya Samapati Sukha. In some places this is referred to as divine happiness, Divya Sukha, in the sense of being a divine abiding, Dibha Vihara. Happiness of insight meditation, Vipassana Sukha. This appears clearly as one of the 10 imperfections of insight, Vipassanupakilesha. Transcendent happiness, Lokuttara Sukha, path happiness, Magga Sukha; fruition happiness, Pala Sukha; and the happiness of Nibbana. The term Pala Sukha includes Palasamapati Sukha, which itself incorporates Vimutti Sukha as well. Appendix 4, Temporary Ordination. In Thailand, there is a custom referred to as ordination for study, Buat Rian. Besides providing an opportunity to those who are prepared to train themselves in order to experience more refined forms of happiness, this kind of ordination is a way of providing an education to the wider population by offering a training to young people in the areas of academic knowledge, ethics, and cultural traditions. It is a rite of passage, with a means for preparing people to enter society as adults. Most of these individuals are ordained while still young. In the case of novice monks, they are still children, and do so because of the wishes of their guardians. After they have been ordained and received an adequate level of training, they can voluntarily decide by themselves whether to continue as monks or to return to the householder's life with a full acceptance by the wider society. During the time of being ordained, these individuals are aware that they have entered a system of training. If they are not really dedicated to this way of life, they can train for a short period of time and then stop. This way they can accept the conditions for what they are. Some of these individuals who are not prepared for a long-term commitment to the renunciant life may devote themselves earnestly to the training for a fixed period of time. Training with this kind of acceptance can lead to good results. It prevents the harm of feeling that one is subject to compulsion or confinement, which would lead to a struggle against the form. If there are disadvantages to this kind of training, they are minimized. If one wishes to preserve this kind of ordination for study, then one must give people the freedom and liberty to disrobe when they wish. This is fair treatment to those individuals, and it will benefit the wider society.